Hi, welcome to another edition of Legal Quilts. Today marks a milestone. I've been doing this for 2 years now. Thank you to everybody who's been here from the beginning, joined recently, joined last week. Every one of you is, I'm thankful for everyone who subscribed or even just watched the video for a bit. It's really great. Every little bit helps and it's appreciated. Today we're going to be cutting the strips for the Ocean Tempestry Quilt because this is also a big landmark. We are doing our first quilt along, and it's the sea surface global temperatures. We're actually only doing the last 50 years because we don't want to do a big huge quilt. Knitters, they can make it just one long narrow thing. Quilters, we got space limitations and making it look fine. You can find the temperatures and the fabric requirements on the website, okay? And today, and this just gives the number of rows, or not on the website, on Ko-fi. I'm tired. It's all on Ko-fi. It's free. Nobody's gonna have to join it. Nobody's gonna have to pay to get to this, okay? Now, what we are doing, and it looks like this when you get all the fabrics, all right? Got all the fabrics here, except the one that we're going to be cutting today. I'm only going to cut one, so you don't have to watch me cut all of the pieces. Because we're doing a throw size quilt, which is wider than 52, we are actually 42 inches, which is about the average of fabric width. You're going to need to cut more than the number of rows, but not double, because I sat down and I figured out how many strips you actually need if you had just one long strip for that particular color. Now, I'll show you what that means in a little as we go along, all right? The main thing is you're going to be cutting today, all right? Cutting and sewing the long strip together. So we're cutting the denim, which is the first color, and we only need 4 strips of that. And so you take your ruler, and we're cutting these 2 inches by width of fabric. Why 2 inches? Because it'll finish out at 1.5, and then that gives you your length of your quilt, which is going to be about 72 inches. It's going to be about 56 wide by 72 inches long when we finish, more or less. All right? So you're going to lay this right on the edge of your fabric here with your 2-inch line right marked. Let me see. Can you see that a little bit better? There's your 2-inch line on your ruler. See your 2-inch line on your ruler here? Oh, no. There we go. See, it's 2 inches. You just lay that right on the edge and you cut. Take your rotary cutter and you cut a strip by the length of the width of the fabric. So you need 4 of these. 1. And you're going to do each of these, each color at once. Don't do all the colors together, like don't do all your cutting and then sew them into long strips, because you will mix up which color. Some of them look really close together. Keep your colors separate. It's very important, because as you go along, when we start sewing, if you've mixed up which color is which, especially like lemon ice, and I think the watermelon and the coral are pretty close together, and don't get me started on berry and Bordeaux. Besides the fact that all these colors are now making me hungry. You don't want to mix up your colors, because then your rows will be off and it won't convey the message it's supposed to convey. So you want to do it one at a time. I've kept the packages that each one came in with it, so I know which color I'm cutting at a time. This one's denim, like I said, and you need 4 of these. That's 3. Oops, I'm having a little trouble. I'm not pressing down as hard because I don't want it to go all weird, but then it's not cutting through. All right, 1 more. So lay that on there. All right. Now then, when you've got all the strips for one color cut, all right, Close your thing, set that over. I bought a little extra fabric. All right. You're not going to need more than, I don't think I had, let's see. Yeah, a couple of them needed, oh, deep rose needed a yard. I'm going to put the yardage requirements because I don't think I put them on there. I'm going to add those in there too. I just put the number of rows. I don't think I put the number of yards you needed. But you don't need a lot of each color. You just need a lot of colors. Then you're going to come over to the sewing machine, all right? And now you've got your rows, your strips cut, okay? And you're going to take one strip and hold it out horizontal. The good thing about doing this with solid colors, you don't have to worry about right or wrong side. They're pretty much the same. And you're going to take your second strip and you're going to lay it right sides together vertically, so they kind of make a V where they meet. You're going to make sure your edges here match, the corner matches, your edge matches, and you're going to have this corner over here. Remember this corner, that's going to be important. That corner that I just showed you, the important one, put that under your machine on a diagonal, leaving, with your V here. You can draw a line if you want from that corner I just showed down to the edge of the fabric right there. You can draw a line. You're going to go a line from there, right there to the edge of the fabric where it meets the other piece, okay? And you're just going to sew a line straight down, okay? Straight there on the diagonal. You put it in diagonally, you're just going to sew. If your thread is threaded, I don't know why this is doing this. All right, hold that. I don't want it to slip, so I'm putting something on it. Let's see, what are you doing today? There we go. I know y'all love me when watching me sew my sewing machine. Found out older sewing machines, found out today that older sewing machines, the needle was slanted, and that is a lot easier to thread because it's more natural how you're sticking the thread in. It goes in much easier than if you're trying to go straight in, because you're kind of naturally, there we go, angling it down. Hey, you got it without too much trouble this time. Ah. There we go. All right, got it threaded. There we go. Get a little of that piece off. There we go. All right. Now then, back to where we were. You're going to sew that right kind of along. You've got your V in there from your loose corner down to your bottom corner. You're just going to sew straight line. All right? And when you're done, let's see. Oh, yeah, that one. Ugh. I don't know what's going on with my sewing machine. You're going to see, you can see it a little bit on this one. You can see that white line. You're just going to cut where these two pieces, see this corner, not the special corner you just sewed, but the other corner. You've got your fabric going out here. Oh, the side of your line away from where the majority of your fabric is where you're going to cut. You're just going to cut that. I do not know what's going on with my sewing machine. So that you get that nice little diagonal bias cut line there. I know it sticks out a little bit. That's okay. It won't show when you get sewing your quilt. All right? And you do that with all your pieces. You've got the long one that you've just sewn. That's your bottom. Okay? It's your bottom. And you're going to lay the next one as your vertical piece. And you're just going to sew on the diagonal again. And same thing, you're just going to cut your little triangle off, and then you're going to sew the fourth one. You're going to do this for each color. And granted, like on the deep rose, that's 13 of them, you're going to be sick of it. I guarantee. Okay? Oh, look, you guys, from this angle, you can see my ring light. And so everything doesn't look all yellow. It gives a little bit of the more white light. And when you get all 4 of them sewn, what's going on there? I'm not happy. You get all 4 of them sewn. All right. Bring the camera around here a little bit. Let me just bring it up here. All right. You're just going to take your strip and roll it up, fold it up. If you've got a toilet paper tube, you want to roll it around. You've got a binding a binding holder, you want to roll it around, whatever. Okay. What you want to do is get that whole long strip under control. You don't just want it laying around as this big, there we go, as this, loose, just jumbled together thing. You want it rolled up or folded up in an organized fashion for a couple reasons. One, this is what we're going to be cutting our strips from, okay, our rows from. So you want to be able to get to it easily. And you don't want to be untangling it and everything every time you go to cut this color. And having to do that. I don't know why my fabric always twists when I'm trying to do that. You should see what it does on my Jelly Roll Race quilts. Those things, man, twist and twist and twist. Okay, now you're done. You've got it all rolled up. Again, you want to keep track of which fabric is which. So, there we go. Back here. All right. I like to use stickies. You can use a scrap piece of paper. I don't care. But you want to write on it which color it is so you can keep track of it. And then, I don't trust the sticky to hold, so I just take one of my clips and clip it on. That way it's not going to get lost. It's always, flip it through a couple of layers there. That way it holds it in place and you can always see which color it is. So again, getting the colors right is the most important thing on this. You really want to keep track of which color is which because there's 12 you got to keep track of. One other thing I like to do, and I don't have quite the equipment to do it here, but I like to take, and I'll just do it from here because I know I got more than enough. I like to just snip, just in case the list gets lost. I snip a little bit off the end, okay? And then cut a little square, all right? Then you've got your sheet with the temperatures and everything on it. This is denim. At the first denim, I actually use a stapler and I just staple through there. Or you can staple it next to the color here, as long as you're not going to be running into each other. or you can just write it down the side, denim, and staple it. But that way you also get your color chart here. So again, if this gets lost, you've got to color the fabric that you can match. That way you're keeping everything organized. And each time, put your color label back on. You don't want to mix that up. So that's it. In November, about mid-November, we're going to start sewing sewing the rows. We're going to sew the quilt, all right? So between now and then, make sure you get everything cut, all right? Get it all cut, laid out, ready to go. And in about November, mid-November, about a month from now, basically, we're going to cut this. Now, we were supposed to have an episode last week, but because this was the 2-year anniversary, I pushed it ahead this week. So we're going to get another episode next week. All right. So it's actually going to be 3 weeks before we get to this, not a month. So we're going to have an episode next week. Then we'll be back onto the regular schedule. Don't know what the episode's going to be, but there will be an episode next week. So you get 2 in a row, then we're back to the regular schedule. But that is it for today. Go to the Ko-fi website. Like I said, Ko-fi Legal Quilts. I'll put the link in the show notes, and then that'll give you your color chart. It'll give you your cutting chart. You'll be all set. I'm going to double check because I don't think I've got the fabric requirements on there. Like, I just have the rows, but I don't know I didn't put how much you need of each, so I'm going to go back and correct that if you didn't get your fabric already. Oops. Please visit my website, buy stuff. That always helps. Or if you just want to support me, you can kick a couple of bucks into Ko-fi. Like, subscribe, share, comment. I always want to hear from you. Yes, even the people who say, I can't see what you're doing or you're doing it wrong. I'm not real thrilled with that. Remember who you're talking to. You know, just because it's anonymous because you're behind a keyboard doesn't mean you can be rude or nasty. Constructive. Be nice. Talk to creators like you want to be talked to. All right? I know I'm forgetting something, but that's it for now, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.